أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
من منكم مؤذن؟
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
بسم الله والحمد لله. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا. ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. ثم أما بعد، فقال الله تعالى في القرآن بعد أن أقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال تعالى في مقام آخر نون والقلم وما يسطرون ما أنت وإنك لعلى خلق عظيم. وقال تعالى عليهم من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين وحسن أولئك رفيقا. وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام في حديث أنت من أحببت. وفي مقام آخر من أحب سنتي فقد أحبني ومن أحبني كان معي في الجنة، أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Respected friends and elders, brothers and sisters, honorable youth and students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the book of guidance, which will, inshaAllah, by His mercy, His fadl, and most importantly, His tawfiq, guide us into Jannatul Firdaus, inshaAllah. The reality of the matter is that in order to understand the book of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down Nabi Kareem Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And after sending him down and revealing the book upon him to his qalb, to his heart, through his Mubarak lips, through his Mubarak speech, the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was communicated to us. The idea, my dear friends, of today's sermon goes very much in link with the current month that we have embarked upon, which is Rabi'ul Awwal. Now, as a disclaimer, I would like to start off by saying that unfortunately, due to overzealousness and other reasons, individuals in the Muslim Ummah, they fall into certain actions and activities, particularly in this month, which is not praised, which are not praised, right? And it is something that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam never did, nor did he advise us to do accordingly. For one, celebrating the birthday of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Is it haram to celebrate the birthday of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam? The answer, plain and simple, no, it's not. It is not haram. So what is it then? The reality of the matter is, my dear friends, is that whatever action we take, there may be so many different actions that you and I do that are not necessarily connected with the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Does that mean that it is haram or impermissible or makruh to do those actions? Not necessarily. The idea is that if we take those actions to be the sunnah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if we claim an attachment to the sunnah and to the actions of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then now that automatically becomes a bid'ah. It becomes a bid'ah. وَكُلُّ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالَةٍ وَكُلُّ ضَلَالَةٍ فِي النَّارِ. And every bid'ah in an innovation is a misguidance, and every misguidance is in the fire. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us and to guide us on the sirat al-mustaqim, onto the right path and the correct path. That path that does not deviate from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. One of the very important traditions of the Prophet Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, al-Mustafa, the chosen one, is that he mentioned that la yu'minu ahadukum, that none of you can be a what? A true believer. That none of you, not necessarily a true believer, but a complete believer. This translation is often taken off of context. Because if you were not a true believer, then what are you? So you're not a complete believer. La yu'minu ahadukum would mean that you are not complete. You know, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu udkhulu fi silmi kaffa. Enter entirely and wholly into the deen, into Islam, into serving peace and becoming a peace for others. This very beautiful hadith comes to mind as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was migrating to Medina. Allahu Akbar. And one of the first sentiments that he echoed to the new community, to a fairly new community, was what? Afshu salam. That spread salam amongst one another. Spread salam amongst yourselves. Does not necessarily mean be peaceful. It could also mean that be peaceful, but also go around and say salam to one another. It's funny, I was just reading today a post on Insta, but it said that, you know, we ask and go around asking someone or somebody, hey, how you doing, man? Everything's well? So what do you do? So the reason why most of the time we ask this question is now we will gauge the amount of respect and honor we will give that person. Allahu Akbar. That's what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, that give salam to those whom you know and those whom you don't know, to everyone, right? That this is something that is the condition of the heart, and nobody knows the condition of the heart and the level of taqwa that someone carries with him. Just because he's wearing an Armani suit and he smells really nice does not mean that that individual is any more further away from deen than what you assume, right? So let's not judge the book by its cover. Allahu Akbar. One of the first lessons that Mufti Saab, our dear Sheikh Mufti Saab, the one who taught us Bukhari Sharif, he would tell us this all the time. All the time, that is a sign of kibr, it's a sign of arrogance when you look down upon people. Batarul haqq wa ghamtun nas. To deny the truth and to look down upon someone. That even if, and we would, you know, when we were students, we would go to the city. We were up in the boonies in Canada, in Ontario. That is where my Jami'ah was, Jami'atul Ulum al-Islamiyya. Ajax, we call it Jamia Ajax. We had a sports team too, it's called Jamia Rockets. MashaAllah. But alhamdulillah, we used to go into the city to attend the weekly talks and lectures that would take place, in the effort of da'wah and such. And every time we would go through the city, we would see, over here we call them hobos. Back where I am, they call them bums. Right? And a hobo meaning homeless, right? You're living on the street. So Mufti Sabi would point to the individual that had no home and potentially had a dog next to him and a bottle of alcohol in his hand. And he would say, even that person, do not look down upon them, because you do not know what will be their fate in the 11th hour. What will happen to them in the 11th hour? يُصْبِحُ الرَّجُلُ مُؤْمِنًا وَيُمْسِي كَافِرًا. That the believer, he wakes up. A person wakes up in the state of Iman, وَيُمْسِي كَافِرًا. And he meets the evening, he meets the night, he meets the nightfall, the darkness. He meets the 11th hour in the state of kufr. So let us not look, and this is one way where we can create a very harmonious community. So as Rasulullah is entering, and he says, Afshu salam wa at'imu ta'am. That spread peace amongst yourselves. Go around saying salam to everyone and anyone. I mean, imagine, this is Rasulullah entering into Medina, entering into a community that is fairly new, and the first thing that he thinks of telling them is Afshu salam, spread peace. He could have said, strengthen your prayers, or do more zikr of Allah, or give charity, or fast, or any of those actions. But no, he decided to choose to tell them something which will bring and unite the society and the community and build a civilization. Allahu Akbar, what a genius. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sallu ala nabi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim. And Qadi Iyad rahimahullah, he has mentioned in one of his books, Allahu Akbar, that the intelligence of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in comparison to the intelligence that was distributed from the inception of time to the destruction of time. From what? From all the Sahabah, intelligence of all the Anbiya, first of all, from Adam alayhi salam, all the way to Isa alayhi salam, all the intelligence of the Anbiya, all of the intelligence of the Sahaba, Umar, Ali, Uthman, Abu Bakr, and all of the Ibn Abbas, Ibn Mas'ud, Allahu Akbar, these were giants in knowledge and intelligence, their intelligence. And then the people to come after that, Imam Bukhari, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Tirmidhi, and all of those intelligence put together, and the intelligence of our time. You're talking about Socrates, you're talking about what? You're talking about, who's that guy that created the land? What's his name? Was that? The one who invented the... Adhaan, that's right? So all of that intelligence put together is a particle of dust in comparison to the intelligence that was exclusively given to Nabi Kareem. There is no wonder why in a period of 23 years, he changed the face of this world. Allahu Akbar wa lillahi. Right? So my dear friends, when he entered into Medina and he said, Afshu salam wa at'imu ta'am, and feed the people, create that love and harmony amongst yourselves. Do not look down upon others, because it's very difficult to approach someone with a smile on your face and say salam, right, looking into their eyes, when you're not necessarily what? Revering them. Right? Have good opinions. We need to have good opinions about one another. And we need to be able to give benefit of the doubt. We need to be able to give the benefit of doubt. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, my dear friends, was very approachable. And then he was always, mashaAllah, in such a state that anybody that looked at him, Allahu Akbar wa lillahi alhamd, was able to approach him comfortably. Did not think that, oh my God, I'm going to approach this mufti and he's going to shut me down. Or I'm going to approach this Maulana and he's going to, he's going to tell me astaghfirullah this and astaghfirullah that. Right? He wasn't like that. He wasn't the one like today when we come into the masjid, and especially the youth, that they are afraid to come into the masjid because they feel the uncles and the individuals, the elders, or maybe not even the imam or anybody else is shutting them down. Oh, don't you know you're supposed to be wearing a full sleeve shirt? Or don't you know you're supposed to be wearing a kufi or a hat? Don't you know where's your beard? How dare you shave? And so on and so forth. And the list goes on. My dear friends of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in his masjid, a man came and urinated. And how did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam handle the situation? Allahu Akbar. The intelligence, the forbearance of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And now, you know, the love that the Sahaba had for Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam was above and beyond. And they were ready because they saw him in action. They saw him on the field. They saw him on the battlegrounds. They lived, walked, and, you know, ate with him, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So their love was above and beyond, unimaginable love, so much so that they were able to gather the leftover water falling off the limbs while the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is making wudu. They were able to take the saliva of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The chance they got, any chance that they got, they were able to take the saliva of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam as he spat, and they would, you know, rub it over them. Allahu Akbar. And today you talk about this and you get disgusted, especially with the corona climate. It's like, what? Are you okay, man? Everything is fine. But that was the love. Immense love went out of their way. My dear friends, understand. My dear elders and my dear youngsters, acknowledge that this man sallallahu alayhi wasallam was the one individual whose presence was admired to the degree wherein you would stand in front of him, and while having to look at his Mubarak face, was not able to look directly at his face. As Jabir radiallahu anhu, he comes and he says that, you know, the shine on the face of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam was like the 14th moon. But guess what? I've never seen his face. That was the inspiring, the awe-inspiring presence that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam had, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept inside of him. Allahu Akbar. So today, as we mentioned the hadith in the start, لا يؤمن أحدكم, that you cannot be a complete believer. Excuse me, once again, right? You cannot be a complete believer until your love for Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam is above and beyond the love that you have for what your family, your kids, your wife, your spouse, and everything else. How do we go about this? What do we do? What steps do we take? Because this is a very stern hadith. If you look at it carefully, you will understand. How can my love supersede the love that I have for my mother, for example? Right? So number one, my dear friends, is that we need to take out time every day. And really, for this particular act that I'm about to mention to you, you don't even need to take out so much time. Is that you need to send salawat ala Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the more you send the salutations upon Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, slowly but surely, drop by drop, that love of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will start entering your hearts. Right? It won't happen overnight, so don't expect it to happen overnight. It won't happen in the month of Rabi' al-Awwal, right? And this is one other problem, is that we visit the idea of understanding who this almost perfect individual was, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, right? We're trying to understand him. We try to, you know, encapsulate anything that we can about him in these 30 days that we are in right now in the month of Rabi' al-Awwal. My dear brothers and sisters, Islam did not come down as a season. Islam is not a season. It's not a seasonal thing. It's not a part-time job. Islam is not a part-time job. It's a lifetime of an endeavor. It's something that we need to work on. And we do not need to take leaps. We need to take baby steps. We need to work towards it slowly. For example, right, in ILF last night, mashallah, Qari Nu'man, he started a program, a halaqa every Thursday night for the next 5 weeks. Why do I talk about this? Is to make mention of the idea of bringing and understanding and also embodying the knowledge of the seerah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But slowly but surely we need to start to, and it's not only in this month. This month may give you a hype. It may give you a good vibe. It may give you, a kickstart. It's just like the month of Ramadan comes about. It gives us this hype. It gives us this kickstart, this vibe. And then all of a sudden, on the 1st of Shawwal, everything is back to normal. We're back to square one. Sustainability is very important in our deen, and that will come through knowledge. We need to build our knowledge. We need to sit down with our ulama and our shuyukh. And if you don't have time for that, then you need to acquire books. And today we have the online era where you can access so much information. But then again, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that be careful whom you take your knowledge from. Be careful as to whom you take your knowledge from. So we need to be very careful, especially online, as to what am I reading, which book am I reading about, what author am I reading on, right? Rasulullah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my dear friends, has said in the Quran, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبُكُمُ اللَّهُ. قُلْ, say, O the Prophet of Allah, unto us, unto all of them, إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ, that if you really love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you claim your love for Allah, and this is who Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was. He was a medium for us to get to Allah. Our ultimate destination is Allah, is ma'rifatullah. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is here to set the record straight, to be able to give us that path. And it's not only, like I mentioned earlier as well, that it's not only about knowledge of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, it's following in the footsteps and the fashion and the style and the akhlaq and the character of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ, that if you claim that you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَاتَّبِعُونِي, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that tell the people to follow you. فَاتَّبِعُونِي, as a human, because he was a human being. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was nothing but a human. He was the best of humans nonetheless. So, فَاتَّبِعُونِي. What will happen when we do فَاتَّبِعُونِي? When we start to follow in the footsteps of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we start to eat the way he ate, we start to sleep the way he slept, we start to walk the way he walked, we start to dress like the way he dressed. So you see what I'm wearing today? This is what we call a jilbab, a jalabiyah. This is not the sunnah necessarily and completely. What we assume as the sunnah, that it's a thawb or it's a kurta shalwar, that is not necessarily the way he dressed. He had a dress, and the outline of that dress was that it was loose clothing. Clothing that would not what? That would not reveal the shape of your body. And bring some haya into your life. Al-haya'u shu'batun min al-iman. That haya, it is what? It is a shu'bah, an entire principle, an entire section of iman. Right? It's to wear loose clothing. Nonetheless, the closer we get to the dressing of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the more we will feel that spirituality, the more we will feel that love towards the beloved sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So in kuntum tuhibbun Allah fattabi'uni yuhibbukum Allah, and Allah will start loving you. And not only that, yaghfir lakum dhunubakum, and He will forgive your sins. Wallahu ghafurur rahim, He's all merciful and very, very forgiving. My dear friends, it is high time that we understand our responsibility and our loyalty to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as we very well know our loyalty, responsibility to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But remember one thing that you would and I would and none of the previous Salaf al-Salihin would have understand the Quran the way that it is understood today, and the way that it is a guidance for humanity without the intervention of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi. So with that being said, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me and all of us, and especially our youngsters and our sisters at home or at work or wherever they are, the ability to what? The ability to understand the purpose of our life through the mission and the da'wah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. His mission was the mission of da'wah, the mission of amr bil ma'roof wa nahyu anil munkar. His mission was the mission of inviting towards the haqq and taking away and moving people away from batil, from falsehood. My dear friends, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He replenish our hearts and our minds, and that He give us the ability to find that right path and that middle path in order to get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وأقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله تعالى: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد صلاة تنجينا بها من جميع الأهوال والآفات، وتقضي لنا بها جميع الحاجات، وتطهرنا بها من جميع السيئات، وترفعنا بها عندك أعلى الدرجات، وتبلغنا بها أقصى الغايات من جميع الخيرات في الحياة وبعد الممات، إنك على كل شيء قدير. جزى الله عنا محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم ما هو أهله. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء والأموات. اللهم يا رب العالمين ألف بين قلوبهم وأصلح ذات بينهم يا رب العالمين. يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك نستغيث، أصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين. يا رب لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك. اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك منه نبيك وحبيبك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ منه نبيك وحبيبك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وأنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: أرحم أمتي بأمتي أبو بكر، وأشدهم في أمر الله عمر وأصدقهم حياء عثمان وأقواهم علي رضي الله عنهم وأرضاهم. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروني ولا تكفرون. فأقيموا الصلاة.
حي على الصلاة، حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي على الفلاح، قد قامت الصلاة، قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله.
So, صفوفكم معتدلون. Please fill in the first lines first. Try to fill in the gaps in front of you, as long as you're not social distancing. Keep it apart. Make sure that the صفوف are filled. Inshallah. The first stuff, the stuff in front of you basically needs to be filled. There was something over there. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصل النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الله أكبر.